Mm. All these dogs around. I used to have when I'd be standing in Japan, all the mountain dogs would come down sometimes, and I'd be standing there and at night or whatever, and they'd be around me. It'd be pretty intense. Let's go into the non-directed for a for a good chunk of time here. Okay. So yeah, we don't know what's going to happen in this hour, and let's be open physically to really maybe we don't know what's going on. Let's just feel. Let's just be curious for this time. If the body is trying to open up in some way, we're just giving it a chance. We're feeling and we're being open to what emerges rather than editing everything that comes out of the body. So if you end up looking funny, silly, that's okay. You're in a weird position, that's okay. Better to let this, what's trying to emerge, give that space rather than controlling or looking good or, yeah, keeping it safe. real quick, I want to say something about um, breaking free of our ideas. Um, I was at a basketball game the other night with my daughter's a cheerleader, and we were watching the girls basketball, and they're not totally fantastic, the team, and they struggle some. But there's one player who I felt like, oh, she's got a different type of thing here. She's got some freedom here. She can do what other people can't do on the court. And she's there and she's with everyone and she's swallowed by the group. Like she doesn't realize she can take over the game. She doesn't realize she can do that. She's sort of in the group mind. And she doesn't realize she can change the game. She doesn't even realize that. And with my observer, ideas probably wrong, but that was what I saw. And it's just like that with the Sangha, with the community. We kind of get stuck. We kind of think, well, this is how things are. This is what we're doing here. We're sitting, we're standing, this is what we're doing. And we kind of forget that I'm here breaking open what I thought was real, what I thought was true. I can I can leap out of this group mind. This limitations I think are there. These assumptions, these group assumptions. And the Roshi would often say this to me early on, like, it's okay to run ahead of the group. It's okay to discover this. And I didn't know that. I thought, well, the group is suffering, the world is suffering. I've got to suffer along with them. That's me being compassionate, that's loyalty. And he was right though. When leaping ahead, discovering that you take everybody with you. They come along and the new world, the new abilities show up, the new states of mind show up. So we're here breaking open these assumptions. We're It's our job to do that. in what's actually going on, like not my assumption of what's happening, not my idea, what's really happening. What if I profound, absurdly relaxed, but I didn't disconnect in that, profoundly surrender to what's happening, but not check out. Maybe it's like there's life and it's this huge river, and I see I've been standing against the river. I've been bumping into this river, and I can, if I'm really honest here and I really feel, I can see, oh, I could kind of turn around and I could let that river through me. I don't have to be walking against the current. I can let that whole huge river through me. Again, you thought it was a push door, but it's a pull door. It's a slider. Maybe some of you, when you feel what's happening, you can't believe it. So you ignore it You're just standing there trying to ignore what you're feeling. It doesn't compute. Or maybe you stand there and you feel this intense gripping, and there's a part of you just wants to escape that the whole time. So you're standing there trying to escape. It may be that you need to let your system just primordially just grip. See where it's taking you. Maybe there's some people who they're there and they in their life they always feel like there's something they can't quite touch. Like it's something there and they can almost touch it. They can almost touch it. In practice, they almost touch it. I almost can feel that. There's something there. And here we're just in the most honest way, we're just giving into that. We're just creatively giving into that. Maybe we've been waiting, like I'll do it later when I'm ready. It may not look like I'm moving. So I feel like sometimes in these classes, people aren't, they're kind of trying to imitate me. And in fact, I'm moving quite a bit. I'm not moving because it feels like a good idea, but my system is mobilized. Really, the non-directed, it's just like turning up the speakers to full blast, and we're just letting it all rip. Maybe when we're in a Zendo, or we're controlling a little bit. A posture is important. We got some parameters we put on it. And here we're just letting everything rip, letting everything be wide open. So if you can't feel, I'd be curious, are you checking out? I don't feel anything in the non-directed. I'd be curious if you do feel and it's intense and you check out. Been standing about 40 minutes. So now's the time not to check out. Things might start to bubble up that have been percolating. So just staying curious. few more minutes, suspending disbelief, just what's trying to happen, just letting it happen, just giving in. Anything that I'm adding on is in the way. Anything I'm adding on doesn't feel real. Can I be more real, more real, more real? Let's take our three big movements. Maybe there's something else animating your arms. Maybe there's something else going on here. Maybe as I do the movement, I feel the room in a much different way. Maybe my feet are, it's like they're just stuck in wet cement. Rubbing down the body. Gonna give a little bow. Thank you so much. Questions, comments? Nothing.
I can share.
Yeah,
I had a pretty interesting session. Somewhere along the line, I started noticing that I, it basically based on your cue, like I default to, it's a very obvious thing, and I tense against my experience. So like literally like when my body will like move or something, I tense up against its movement. And it's like every time something changes, I like check, I like hold, and then it's like, okay, can I release here? And so I was changing that like moment to moment reaction to tensing. And then my body went through this whole crazy like release thing, or like my neck was just like tensing up really painfully for like 10 minutes. But it felt very authentic is probably what I'd say. It was like, okay, like this is really just happening now. Yeah, it was definitely unique, and I'd always to sort of look back on it, but like I did make it a thing, I guess, because I was like, wow, I'm really following this, but it felt like it needed to happen anyway, so I'm very happy with it.
right. And isn't that interesting how like even in relaxing, like what I think of relaxing, it's that I created a safety strategy within relaxing where I'm conscious, I'm overly checking it. So I'm like you said, I let go a little and then I kind of put these little barriers on it or however your language was. And so I even relaxing becomes control. It's interesting how that happens. And so yeah, what if I didn't do that? And th those are pretty often for people, they're pretty unconscious. They come up on us and we didn't notice where we're protecting. So yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yep. Cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm noticing now, like I we're in a different format and I was doing it again, just like listening and it was like, can I try? And then I noticed I'm much more prone to like smiling or there's something different. And it's fun to kind of be in that space now because I'm like, ooh, this is nice. Like this is kind of fun.
Wow. Yep. Yep. Interesting. Anybody else want to throw something out there? Jason,
Um,
your hair down's kind of amazing, Jason. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Brian.
it's funny, it wasn't the point of what you're talking about in your story with your daughter, but I had that too when I was young and I played basketball. And, it would all come to me, at times. And then as I got older, just completely flipped where every time I'd go out onto the court, I could just feel everyone watching me and asked the coach to pull me out of the game and stuff, and it just completely flipped, and just the panic and then completely freezing up. So, but that was the point of your story, but that's what I was thinking about. Um, obviously, practice is easy and fun when you feel full and it's flowing and you feel like you're being pulled into the earth, let's say, and all that stuff, right? Like the real challenge is like don't play with it too much, and keep her focused. But then other times like it's like there's like a plumbing leak or something and there's just a leak and then whatever the air like you say whatever just becomes thin again or you feel your hands and they're just not full at all, they're completely limp and you don't have anything going. And when you come to practice and what's here is that just nothing and you go limp and you're just completely leaking, is it like I'm trying to play and try different things to get back to being full, or is it just like, okay, it's okay if it's not thick and you're not full and maybe you can't feel the tendon or the back like you could a couple hours ago? Like, is it like we're trying to play and use this play and this practice lab to try to meet it again, or is it just like, okay, can I just be here and can I be okay with just being empty and not having anything.
Yeah, right. Um, I guess for me, I would say a couple of things there. One is that like the energy will like develop in a way that it's always there. That will happen over time, and that takes a long time. It's really like building a bonfire it's kind of like, oh, I had energy and then I kind of lost it. I had energy and then that yeah, kind of got leaky. The and that's how it is kind of for a while. Like I felt something and then I lost it. Um, and then over time it'll be like that energy is just always there. And to go a little different direction with it, it may be like right now, like we're coming up to the full moon that's coming up, and it may be that the energy has changed on me, and my language for feeling it was a certain way, and then the energy changed on me, and um, I can't recognize that, so I feel like I don't have energy. Like I felt like the tire went out, the air came out of the tire, but it may be that the energy has a different signature, a different Kilgai energetic signature to it, and I can't I can't recognize that. So I think I've kind of lost it. So that's part of where the Kufu is, the creativity of finding it oh, I found it now. It's not like it was 2 hours ago. I found it now. And that might be, it might be like everything I was doing felt like 90 miles an hour this way. And then it became something very different. It came like everything became, whatever, the opposite of that. And finding it within that is part of the practice, part of the process. And the fullness will change, but it will be there, and we'll learn to recognize it more in it as it changes all the time. Um, and chances are we're good at feeling it in certain ways, and then we're not as good at it. We can't quite feel it in other ways. And being able to be with it in all those different ways is part of what makes it just be there all the time. So again, we got, we can touch green. We're good at green, but we're not good at, pink. We can't feel pink. And so over time it will be like, oh, I can feel I feel all of that. And I'm able to um let it be there. And that's a big process. Um, yeah, it's very amoral in that way. It's very like, um, it's not something we can kind of um, say, I know it this way because it will be different for us, and um, so it will be feeling different, and that's scary. That doesn't compute for us. So it has to be like in this good bad head we get into that really blocks it. So feeling, oh, I can feel that. I feel something going on, and it'll be there all the time. It'll be different, but it'll be there all the time. And that's a big part of the process. And what is it that happens where I felt it and then I started to feel like blocked or leaky? That might be where I'm closed down. I'm closed down emotionally, or I'm closed down um in some way. I blocked my experience, and that's real feedback. It's a big process, but yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. When it's coming and doing one thing, I can touch it. When it changes, it's doing something else. It's like it's just not there, or I just feel like it's not there.
Right, right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And we all got to go, I'm sure. But what people get where they're good at that one thing, and then they're like, that's what practice is. That's what Zen is. That's whatever. Oh, I do that thing, and then they've sort of pinned their practice. They pinned it into a certain thing, and then they're always trying to get to that place, and that really sucks. That really doesn't work. Because then you're always either like, I'm feeling like what did Leonard Cohen said? My loneliness tells me I've sinned. You know what I mean? When I'm not feeling holy, my loneliness tells me I've sinned. It's like that. I feel so good until I feel so terrible. Anyway, thanks so much, everybody. We got the immersion actually ends on Tuesday. So we got a few more days here, a couple more days, a few more days. Yeah. Thank you all so much. Great day of practice, I thought. Everybody, hey, you all outside, make sure your neck doesn't get cold. If it's cold out, get your neck warm. Don't let your neck get all cold after doing the non-directed. That's a recipe for not feeling very good. Okay. See y'all later. Okay. Bye-bye.